Hey everyone, welcome to the very first episode of Coldfront Conversations, where we talk culture, real talk, and we just keep it pushing. So basically, I wanted to do this for quite some time. As you can tell behind me, I've been a big comic book fan, also anime, great TV shows, and all that. And I just wanted another outlet for to collaborate and bring people together so we can just have some chill conversations and whatnot. This is our pilot episode, and fortunately for everyone out there, we have a special guest. His name is Brandon Deichler. Close enough. He'll correct me if I said that wrong. But many of you know him as Posable Productions. He's done impressive work for Marvel and DC. He's an avid toy photographer. Also does toy photography on as freelance. So I'm gonna bring him in.
How's it going?
Hey Brandon, how's it going?
That's great. I'm happy to be here. Episode 001. I love it.
001.
I'm
For the
honored.
audience, hey, I'm honored that you're here, man. Um, just for the audience, can you please just say you're the government right, just in case, because I'm
Yeah.
kind of a stickler for the name.
Yeah, it's Brandon Deichler, German.
Deichler, yes.
Yep.
Oh, and I'm sure many of you, well, hopefully soon, many of you will know me as the Coldfront, but my name is Tayo, and all right, let's get started. So how you feeling today, my man?
I'm feeling great. I'm excited to be doing this.
I'm excited that you're here. So, like I said, he's an avid toy photographer. He's done great work, and I actually just want to show off some of the stuff he's done. Stage, not that. There we go. All right. So, can you tell us a little bit? Can you tell us a little bit about this picture?
Sure. So this was so I'm fortunate enough to be able to do some photography for Mondo, which is if you're not familiar with them, an incredible company, mostly does 1/6 figures. I've been doing work with them for about 3 years now. And this was an example of I'll get a prototype, kind of like sometimes it's an early prototype, sometimes it's like the first production sample that they get. They'll send that to me and they'll ask me to take, I end up taking usually in the ballpark of 40 to 60 pictures. Some of those are kind of just the technical stuff, the turnarounds. Some of them are pictures of the props and that sort of thing. But a lot of them, what they refer to as lifestyle, which we would call like ACBA style. It's a scene. It's a contained, clean, cropped, contained scene. Everything's in scale with the figure. So they call them lifestyle photos. So I had the opportunity to take them for this Daredevil variant. I actually was able to do the regular red costume for them as well. And it's like, I
You
mean,
mean
to say
this?
that's like yep, that's the one. It's like an honor of a lifetime. Like seriously, I couldn't imagine ever getting the opportunity to do this sort of thing. It's so exciting for me.
Yeah, I've been a big fan of your work for quite some time. I know you have a penchant to really shoot the X-Men and Batman. One of the pictures that I came across of yours that I saw when you were announcing it is this one of Wolverine. Everybody knows how iconic that original X-Men, animated series opening is. So like when he's like flashing the
Yep.
claws like so. Oh my goodness. And these effects they came with the figure, right?
So this one specifically, so they've done two Wolverines. The first one they ever did for the line, I think it might have even been their first 1/6 scale figure. That might have been
Mm,
Batman. I'm not sure, but they did a one-off Wolverine. If you remember, it was like the sad Wolverine. They did
touching the
like a
gene.
San Diego, yeah, exactly, a San Diego Comic Con exclusive for. Those claws actually came with that one. The rest of the figure is a newer release they did with their newer sculptor who's done like the vast majority of the line. The only one he didn't have his fingerprints on was that original Wolverine because he was hired after that point. So this was sort of like a kit bash of those two. I had to modify it a little bit to do that. I'm not particularly gifted with that sort of stuff, but I can do enough to be dangerous, and this was an example of that. Never made any sense, the claw energy like that, but it's so iconic, and it's like that's anybody that watched that show 34 years ago, whatever it is, that's just burned in
Mm-hmm.
your brain. Like, how many times have we seen that, the opening credits, and seen that? And now we're seeing it in X-Men 97. It's just still so cool. Yeah, I don't care
What
if
a
it makes sense.
what a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Seriously.
All right.
If you
Honestly,
had
I could.
told me that many years
Mhm.
ago, I would not believe it.
You know. Ooh, we definitely got to talk some X-Men 97 because
Please.
I got theories, and I know that you got some special theories. But
Yep.
I just want to bless the viewers just a little bit more with, because obviously you do Marvel and DC and whoever else
Mm,
is fortunate to work with you. Look at this one right here, this image. Oh my goodness. Can you
yeah.
tell us about this Clayface and this? Oh, for those of you guys who don't know, that's Batman lodged in his torso there.
Yeah, that's a 12-inch Batman lodged into the torso of a 14, 15-inch
That's
Clayface.
big.
Yeah, it's real big. So this is an example of one. This was not a for the photo shoot or anything, for the product shoot. This was just, once I had it in hand, I watched that show religiously, and
Hmm.
that's one of the scenes. Like, there's a whole scene where he's fighting it, he gets pulled in, and then he ends up doing the grappling hook shot out of his head and everything. And it's just like the coolest body horror you could imagine. So that's still burned in my brain from the same number of years ago. We're still talking 34, 33 years ago. So when I got that figure, so one of the cool things about that figure, and it's unusual for Mondo figures, is that it has this sort of like flexible outer coating. It's like, I don't even, it's some sort of just like pliable plastic. Um, and I like to just be creative within the bounds of a figure, like so I was just like, I had a spare Batman. I'm not
Hmm.
afraid to destroy something for a photo shoot. If there's one
Okay,
thing to know
good to
about me,
know.
I am not afraid to do that. I had a spare Batman. I pulled them apart, and I made this happen. So I just kind of wedged it in there. It's all about the angles, because you kind of, I had to pull the seam open there from the two different parts where the upper torso meets the lower torso, and just kind of wedge it in there. If it was moved an inch to the right, you would probably see that separation, but it's really all about angles with photography, any
Oh
kind
my
of
goodness.
photography.
All right. So, is Batman your favorite hero?
Oh man, it is so hard to pick. Like, I literally, over the course of a year, I'll swing back
Hmm.
and forth between the X-Men and Batman. Like, I get so fully into one, and then it tends to be seasonal. I find, like, wintertime as Batman,
Hmm.
baby. That's when, like, that show was on. There's the Christmas episodes. There's the gritty, Gotham City. I think that comes out, and all the orchestral music. It always reminds me of Christmas too. I think that's what it is for me. So, like, 6 months out of the year, I'm going to say X-Men. 6 months out of the year, I'm going to say Batman. That's really how it works.
Low key, Batman Returns is a Christmas
Yes,
horror movie.
100%.
you know.
And that's the best. I like that better than 89. That's controversial. That one
Hmm.
has just, there's more personality to it somehow. I don't know what it is. I think I like the winter in Gotham City. I think I like the other little Christmas trimmings on it. It's just, I love that movie so much. The performances are
Honestly,
incredible.
I think I remember more about that movie than '89 Batman. Like the way
Yeah.
Danny DeVito, with just like even the way like the Penguin bled, it was almost like he was like some ink man, like oozing out. Oh, I remember Catwoman just being, oh my goodness, like let's just say she awoke
Call it
some
what it
things.
is.
she
100%.
awoke some things. You know what I mean? Well,
What was that, 1992? One? I'm trying to
hey, I
think.
mean, I'm a '90s kid. All I know is that I've watched it at least 1,900 times. It feels like,
Yep.
yeah.
I watched it on a plane
And
again a couple years ago. That was my first time for a while, but I'm like, no, I still love this movie. It's still the best, like, at least from those early live action ones from the 90s. It's the
hmm
best one.
and
No
then
question.
Tim Burton do that one? Did he do
He
both
did. That
89
was the
and
last one that he did. Yep.
okay? Mm.
Yep.
All right,
And then it went to
so Batman,
Schumacher, and I still like
it
the
got a
visuals
little,
of the Schumacher ones,
yeah,
but the story and, yeah, that dialogue
it got
really
very
falls off.
colorful,
It got
and
very
honestly,
colorful, which is something I'm drawn to for sure. But
that's what I love about actually being like really into comic books because prior to like the Batman animated series or whatnot, like my first introduction to Bane was the Schumacher one. And I was
Yep.
just like, oh, so is he just like the Hulk, but in a wrestling costume? Because he didn't speak. But then
Yep.
obviously,
Yep.
if you watch the show, tactician, just as
Yep.
smart as Batman,
They did him dirty.
physically imposing. They did him dirty, man.
Yeah.
Poison
Big
Ivy, I
time.
think they did a good job. The
Poison
Riddler,
Ivy was
I
much
mean,
better. Yep.
yeah, the Riddler, I think he was okay. He kind of holds up. Two Face,
It's it's not super Riddlery, but it's great in its own way. You know, like I
mm-hmm,
still have a lot of I was him for Halloween, whatever that year was, 95 probably. I was at
mm-hmm.
Riddler for Halloween. I still remember going to one of my neighbors' houses. I had the spray red, like, oh, it was awful. But I loved that at the time. I loved Jim Carrey at the time too. I still love Jim Carrey. What am I saying? Yeah, that one still sticks with me too. Even the look of Two-Face, even and
Mm-hmm.
Tommy Lee Jones is incredible. I don't think he was given that much to work with. Maybe um, I think he would have worked better in maybe a more grounded movie, but I still do like Batman Forever. Also,
That's what's up.
yeah.
I also was a Batman Forever character that year. When I edit this, I'm gonna have to like have my mom dig in the trenches because I was Chris O'Donnell's Robin or whatever. So basically, I didn't have a
Nice.
domino mask. I had his face, a plastic face of his strapped on. It had a domino mask, so so
Are your
I
parents
was a little,
artistic?
oh, my father is he's really into art. Our home is like in Queens is like surrounded with his paintings and stuff.
Wow,
Speaking of that, for those of you who follow the Coldfront, you'll notice that, or if you did, you'll notice that this past Father's Day, I actually used his artwork in collaboration with another company that I work with called Coded Signature. You can follow me and you can see them. They make really awesome fashion. But anyway, so for you, it's Batman, what brooding in the winter, and then summer fun in X-Men,
that's
and
it.
that actually goes with because the Posable Productions isn't your only account, right? So
Nope,
you've
that's
got what else
correct.
you got?
Batman the Articulated Series is kind of like a
Mm-hmm.
spinoff of Posable Productions. I started that a while back too. I I tend to like specialized things. Like I like to be able to like if I was somebody who followed me, I'd love to just be able
Mm-hmm.
to go to one page and just see Batman the Animated Series stuff. And I've shot I don't even know how many photos uh, for that account. I only
Mm-hmm.
put up Batman the Animated Series stuff. You won't even see a different version of Batman on that page. I'm very strict with that. I like the idea of maybe somebody follows Posable Productions, but they don't really care about the X-Men. Maybe they don't care about any of the other stuff that I do. They
Mm-hmm.
just love that, and I don't mind catering to that person. And Instagram's made that easier over the years too. It's just like you what is it, a contributor post or whatever. That's so
Right.
much easier now. It used to
You
be
just
like I'd
collab
have
with
to post them
yourself.
on both, and then they'd appear in people's feeds both times, and I didn't love that. I don't want to pollute people's feeds either, but I just like the idea of having one page that you can go to and see just that stuff. And I actually ended up doing the same thing with X-Men. So X-Men underscore the articulated series, same deal with that. You're just going to see X-Men the animated series stuff there. You're not going to see comic stuff even. You're just going to see that. So I like doing that sort of stuff. That's kind of how my brain works. I like things to kind of be specialized, and what you're going to get when you go there.
Brandon, does that also carry over to the way you collect? Because I feel like as a collector, me personally, I think we're in probably the best of times, but
Yeah.
also like it's somewhat in the worst of times because there's so many options.
Yeah.
So do you think like that affects the way you collect your figures?
That's a great question because as I'm going to talk about Hasbro in this case, just because they kind of put out the most figures that I get, like just quantity wise.
Right.
A couple years ago, they started doing more of like the cartoon designs and stuff, like from the '90s. Like they did that cartoon Iron Man, and then they started doing the Marvel versus Capcom stuff. And I'm a comic guy, but honestly, for me, animation is top. That's what drew me in originally. Like the reason I started reading X-Men and Batman to begin with is because of the cartoons in 1992. That's what grabbed me. That's what's really stuck with me. So the fact that they've started kind of like doing more animated specific stuff, It's really
Mm-hmm.
become my focus. Like I have an entire shelf up there. It's far back, but that middle shelf, it's all things that fit in that like sort of proto MCU that they had in the animated series in the 90s. Like it was all connected. It was sort of, I mean, there was some continuity issues, but in my brain, it's not hard to reconcile that like that Fantastic Four is in the same universe as those X-Men and same universe as Iron Man and that Hulk. So I started collecting any figures that could fit in that universe. And that's really become my focus. I'm still getting comic stuff. I still love comic stuff. But
Mm-hmm.
if I have to choose between a She-Hulk that looks like she could fit in that universe and a She-Hulk that doesn't, I'm really going to prioritize the one that fits in that universe. So that's
In
kind
the
of where I'm
animated
at now
movie.
in the animated universe. Yeah.
Okay.
So like that's my main crux right now is anything animated. And like you said, we are in a golden age for that, which is dangerous because then in some cases you have competing companies making the same figures from the same properties. If we get another company that's making like animated X-Men 97 figures, for example, or something like a import company that's going to be doing that, I'm going to be in trouble.
Right.
I'm going to be buying two like of every character, one from each company, and I'm not going to feel that bad about it. That's just the Spider-Verse. I have that same issue with them. There's like
Mm-hmm.
2 or 3 companies doing Spider-Verse figures. I'm very much into Spider-Verse too, and I have a lot of duplicates from that too. But it brings me joy. It really does. I like being able to have, well, I like this figure for this. This has got better articulation, but this one has better paint applications or accessories or whatever it might be. I just want the most complete universe I can have. That's really my aim at this point in collecting.
Man, that's lovely. And I'm like that with a lot of properties, but just to focus on one of them, like Street Fighter, let me tell
Yeah.
you, we used to pray for times like this. And I
Seriously.
honestly feel that since it's like I saw, that Oprah Winfrey where like you get a right. I saw a meme the other day. It was just like you get the Street Fighter license, you get the Street,
Yeah.
everybody gets the Street Fighter license. And I'm just like, I got on my wall, I got Jada, I got Storm in my closet. I've got
Yeah.
Storm Arena in my closet, and it's just like, man, the way things are going right now, we might actually get Yun and Yang from Third Strike and Sean, which is Ken's apprentice, the
Yep.
Afro Brazilian fighter that wears the yellow gi, and I'm just like, man, let me tell
Somebody's
you,
going to do it. Maybe both of them. Who knows?
maybe both of them. Why not? Oh my goodness! But
It's
also,
crazy.
no, it's and also to your point of animation, I'm actually been thinking about, and I think I really should, because what you said about how the animation is what really was the catalyst for all this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand, and people have been talking about it. I don't understand how in the year 2026 there has not been a single solo Wonder Woman animation. Like, yes, she's had the movies, but no animated shows.
Yep.
It boggles the mind because multiple people in my family, they're not as deep into this, anywhere near as deep as this is me, but they know of superheroes. Why? Based on like the cartoons, and now,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
since Iron Man, like the movies and stuff. And it's just like DC.
Missing
Diana
out.
is a part of the Trinity. Where like we
Yep.
should have a Wonder Woman anime by now. We should have like a campy version that's almost like She-Ra, except it takes place on Themyscira. We should have so many different versions by now. Like,
It's
I
an
don't know.
onboarding vehicle. I just don't even understand, even just from a simple business standpoint, that's how you get younger viewers. That's how you get people in that ecosystem of caring. Like you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
wait until, I mean, if you think about all the years with like the Snyderverse and all that, like those were violent enough that nobody's gonna be watching those until they're 12 at least, for the most part. You're kind of too late. You're into other things by then. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
weird to me. I'm with you. It's weird to me that you're not onboarding these kids as young as possible to get into that ecosystem and start caring about those characters. They'll support the comics. They'll support the movies. They'll support figures.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just doesn't make any sense to me. I'm with you.
And then and then I feel like the fact that Wonder Woman is still so like prevalent in the cultural zeitgeist, despite not having like
Yep.
video games, which is crazy. I'm just like, it's
Hmm.
God of War, but just make it Greco-Roman.
That's it.
Despite not having animated shows. Like I recently did some interviews when I went to DreamCon in Houston, Texas, right? And there was a lot of cosplay. You know how many Wonder Women I saw? I saw maybe two or three. You know which costumes I besides anime, which DC characters I saw the most? I saw hella Starfires and hella Ravens. Why? Because
Yep.
of Teen
Teen
Titans
Titans.
and Teen
Yep.
Titans Go. Freaking
Yep.
Beast Boy, he's got an animated show. I think they're developing one for Starfire. Crypto is about to have his second,
Yeah.
and Batman, yo, literally, there's because I've watched it with my daughter. There is a kid show based on it's like Cars, except it's the Batmobile, it's the Bat
Yeah.
machines, and
I've
it's
heard, I
just
haven't
like
seen that, but
Bat
I've
Wheels
heard of
or
that.
something.
Yeah. I think
Come
we're
on,
covering on
DC,
Batman, right? It's
man. I mean,
everybody else that's
Absolute's
kind of
amazing, but
underserved. Yeah.
extremely
I don't get
underserved.
it. Even in
So,
figures, she's underserved.
mhm.
Like McFarlane barely touched her, and how he's had that license, what, 5, 6 years? I don't get it.
The
Leaving
best
money on
so
the
far,
table.
the best 112 Wonder Woman has not even been Wonder Woman. It's not even been from DC. It's
Power
been
Princess.
the Power Princess customs. Like I was so
Yeah.
excited when they announced the Mafex. I'm just like, yo, I know I'm gonna overpay for this, but
Yeah.
like, hold on, let me risk a glare real quick. Like this figure right here is like permanently displayed for me because
Yeah.
this is the Mezco classic version of Wonder Woman, and I'm just like, aesthetically it's giving what was that original lady with the Wonder Woman? What was
Linda
that
Carter.
actress's name? Yes, Linda
Linda
Carter.
Carter. Yep.
It's given very Linda Carter, right? But I also just want more closer to the comic book aesthetic, and I'm really hoping Mattel you know makes Wonder Woman figures really quick. But anyway, speaking, we were talking about conventions. So this we're still in the midst of. There we go. We're still in the midst of San Diego Comic Con. How are you feeling about the con overall and like the reveals?
To be honest, the reveals have
Please.
underwhelmed me a little bit.
Okay.
We talked about my focus being animated stuff. Now there was nothing from X-Men '97. Now listen, I know that's been served well in the past couple of years. I'm not going to act like we've gotten nothing from it, but it's like we're mid-airing of that right now. There's like what 4 weeks of that left, 3-4 weeks of that left,
Hmm.
and just nothing. I couldn't believe that. That really surprised me.
No, I agree. And there's because like I don't want to spoil, but you know what would have been really cool? Why not give us an En Sabanur figure? I'm sure that would
Yes.
sell. They have
Yep.
all these
You could do a
different
deluxe for
looks.
that even. I think that would
Yes.
sell. Yeah.
And then just put them in black and gold, like in the Morrison type attires, or even if you don't do it straight from X-Men '97, just do it based on the comics. I don't know. I was also surprised, and I gotta say, like, I think Hasbro, I have quite a few Marvel Legends, right? But
Hmm.
nothing really besides maybe their Black Panther like really moved me. What do you think
I
of their
know.
reveals?
I was pretty underwhelmed. Like I watched that whole panel. Shout out to Articulated Comic Book Art for streaming it. And then
ACBA for
I
the
saw
people.
some other ones like I think Unparalleled Universe and MCU Collector both showed the Q&A. I actually weirdly the Q&A actually I thought was more suited to my interests than the actual panel was.
How
Um,
so?
because I think people were kind of asking about the things that they expected and really wanted to see. One
Hmm.
of the things that caught me was that somebody asked about an armor in Marvel Legends. Armor's like I think the only missing member, like prominent member from that team at this point.
Yeah.
Um, and Jesse Falcon said it's going to happen. It's just a matter of. It sounds like they want to wait till they can do it right. They know it's going to have to be big. Like the figure needs to fit inside a good size, piece of armor.
Hmm.
I understand the hesitance a little bit just because she's not like an A-list figure or anything, and that might have to be like a bigger deluxe sort of figure. But she's so
Hmm.
important, and she's such a cool character, such an underserved character. I'd love to see that. So them being asked point blank about that was really interesting to me. I was happy about that. Somebody else asked about X-Men '97, why if we're going to be getting any more of that. And of course, we're going to be getting more, but I think a lot of people were just surprised we didn't see any, even just renders, nothing, or even a tease, nothing. So they
Right.
said that that show is going to be on for a long time. They're going to be releasing figures for it for a long time, and that it's more a question of who they aren't going to make than who they are going to make. And that reassured me a little bit. Like I kind of knew that deep down, but I was just expecting a little bit more news about it out of this. That's just like 90% of my brain power right now is just about X-Men 97. So not seeing any of that stuff kind of disappointed me.
Yeah, I feel like because I'm sure in some regards they probably don't cross streams too much like the GI Joe team and the Legends team, but I'm just like, why not just take the Snake armor, right? Just like use that as a model. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Ideally for me, I wouldn't even mind if she was like even paid to order. I mean, no, made to order like the Sentinel, but
100%.
only if they had a big one and then they had a
Yeah.
smaller one that she could fit into, and it had like some killer like articulation or whatever. Actually, I think I have an image of that Sentinel. Let me tell you something. Like, oh my goodness, this I ordered one. I think I was talking to you about like I was thinking about getting
Yes.
like multiple.
Yeah.
This Sentinel gives me PTSD. PTSD. Shout out to my cousin T Money, because when I tell you this man used to spam the rocket punch, oh
Yeah.
my god.
Who didn't?
Like,
Anybody who was bad at fighting games like I was, it's one of my go-to characters was him.
he was such a cheese. The what I would say, I think the price for this was right. I like how the shoulder pauldrons open up for like the boosters or whatever.
Yep.
I like how he has an open mouth. I wish the beam was longer, but I get it. Like that's like the longer it is, that could up the cost. I did
Sure.
wish that the panels open more, because to me, I think his most iconic like besides his fighting moves is that pose where he opens up and like his face splits.
I think he's facing straight ahead. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they kind of did that in one of the poses. But while we're on Sentinels, and please stop me if I'm because I don't want to ruin anything for anybody. Have you seen the extra image or the bonus? No, what's the word I'm looking for? Oh my goodness, my words. The sneak peek at season 3 of X-Men 97.
Yes. I have seen that. I have a theory about it. I don't know if you want to get into that or not.
Well, for those of you, hopefully more as time comes, that frequent my Instagram, _Coldfront, there's hella Tayo theories. So please, I would love to hear yours.
So I don't know
Posable
anything.
Productions postulates.
To be you like the alliteration, I can tell.
Hey, I'm just like Sam the Man. I love alliteration.
There's been a tease, or I don't know I think they showed a picture of one of the upcoming episodes. I think it might be this next one, which is only a couple days away. I can't wait. Graydon Creed is coming back in some capacity. We don't know what capacity yet, but there was at least a still image of him. So I see that clip, and we see the what appears to be the Brotherhood fighting Sentinels in the middle of, I'm guessing, New York City, but wherever. Sentinels look a little bit different, though. Did you notice anything about the Sentinels?
Yes, they have like a star on them.
They sure do. It felt very America to me, right? Graydon Creed, famously in the comics, ran for president.
Right.
He's going to run for president. He's going to win the presidency. He's going to reinstate the Sentinel program at the federal level. Very possible they go that direction. Very possible. Yep.
Yeah, I was thinking similar. How are you feeling about them like having Surge almost like maybe they're putting her on the rogue route, because she's with the Brotherhood, she's young, she's impressionable, she's powerful.
Yep. Did you watch Wolverine and the X-Men when that was on?
I sure did.
They did, the same thing was, they took from the comics in that. So this isn't like they did it first or anything, but that's exactly that's the vibe I got, where Rogue in that show ran with the Brotherhood before she joined the X-Men. And that I got the exact same vibe from that clip, with Surge running with the mutant Brotherhood. And if you think about it, you get an anti-mutant tyrant takes over the presidency, reinstates the Sentinel program. Younger mutants who haven't made up their minds might lean more the Magneto route than the Xavier route, and so that makes perfect sense to me. Young, angry, doesn't know her powers all that well yet. Maybe that's kind of how things are going to go. I think that's a great theory too. I'm really curious to see where that goes. Surge is a cool character too.
She is. And speaking of young angry female who has a dark past, in that Wolf, I think it was episode 5 of this current season, how like you saw the DVDs and one of them said X-23.
Yep.
I'm thinking X-23. I'm also thinking that because they're straight up showing the purifiers, and
Mm-hmm.
also because they're showing like the Avengers, like here and there, like they showed him anyway. I'm thinking that we could be leading towards Messiah complex possibly, and then
Mm-hmm.
eventually from there, right? Not that we need an Avengers 90s shows. I wouldn't mind if it was like they did the Bendis like style looking Avengers where like Iron Man's like in the extremis or whatever. Like,
Yep.
and then we eventually do AVX
Yep.
because like Marvel loves their synergy, and especially because like now
Mm-hmm.
the comics are moving to Hollywood, like they're leaving New York. So
Yeah.
Danger, right, who appeared in this last episode, she's in that new fighting game, right? You know who
Yes.
else is? Did you see the first DLC character for that new fighting game?
Phoenix Cyclops. Yep.
Phoenix Cyclops.
Yep.
Come on,
And with the
I'm
same
thinking.
voice actor from X-Men 97 too. Yeah.
I don't know.
Synergy.
Synergy, baby,
I'm not
synergy.
always a big synergy guy, especially when it's the MCU sort of affecting the comics or the animation or
Mhm.
whatever. But synergy can be a good thing too. And I
It
like
can
that
be a
we're
good
getting
thing.
to an era again where back in the 90s, we had the X-Men animated series cast doing the voices for Marvel versus Capcom and those sort of games
Mhm.
too. And I think we're kind of getting back to that where there's a little bit more synergy between the games and the animation and all that sort of stuff. So I'm all for it. That sounds great to me. I mean, they're
Yeah, and
talking
then
what, eight years out for X-Men 97. They're talking about up to season 10 at this point as a possibility.
listen,
Like that's hard to even
let
wrap my
them
head
cook.
around.
Let them
Yeah,
cook. I
that's
want
it.
I want this show on until it needs to be retired. Like when they switch to that different animation studio in
Yes,
the
exactly. When
original
they
one.
started cheaping out
Let
in
them
season
cook until it
5.
gets stale, because we'll
Yep.
have plenty of good leftovers to eat. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
All right. Let's see what else. Oh man, this has been so fun. All right.
This has been great.
Also, real quick, since we talked about X-23 real quick,
Mm-hmm.
are you familiar with the fact that just like Harley Quinn, right? Her debut was actually in a cartoon, not in the comics.
Yep.
Yep,
Evolution,
X-Men
right?
Evolution. Yeah.
Yep.
And now look at her, like Daphne Keene. People love
Yep.
X-23. People who would have never ever said anything about X-23. Why? Because of animation. Hey, DC, I'm sure you're watching
Great
this
point.
brand
Yep.
new podcast, Coldfront Conversations. Animate some
Episode
Wonder
1.
Woman cartoons,
Yeah.
please. Like, just
Yeah, it's
just do
baffling.
it. Everybody wants it. Like, I don't want the first thing people think of Wonder Woman to be Kal-El. No. All right,
Yeah.
but anyway. Oh my goodness. All right. So, real quick, did you have any kind of haul this week, or?
I mean, I'm hoping I have somebody that was going to try to get me the 97 Professor X. I'm still pretty mad that that was an exclusive. That's a crazy exclusive, in my opinion. Like, if it
Mhm.
was him in like his Shi'ar suit from season 1 of X-Men 97 or something, fine. That makes sense to me. But I don't know, like a limited, hard to find, really central character with the chair, with everything being an
Mhm.
exclusive really kind of bothered me. So I have somebody that said they were going to get me one. We'll see if that ends up being the case. I don't want, if somebody tries to do me a favor, I'm not going to be bothering them like, hey, did you do it? Hey, did you do it? I'm hoping that comes through. I'll be really excited if it does. I'll be pretty upset if it doesn't. I struck out on all the Jada stuff. I think a
Wow.
lot of people struck out on the Jada stuff.
Shout out to Boog, because I logged on because I'm in California, right? I logged
Yeah,
on exactly 10 a.m. PST, right? Everything was going out of
yeah,
stock in my cart. So he was able to secure the you lose heads for me, because I'm just
yep.
like the
That's
other ones
great.
I can live without getting. I'm just like, even the Akuma, I'm just like, man, I really like that gi without the kanji, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna be shooting him from the front mostly anyway, so it's fine.
Right.
But I was just like, I can't risk missing or paying aftermarket, because honestly,
Yep.
not gonna lie, I normally don't pay aftermarket. I would have paid
Right.
aftermarket for those heads.
That's kind of how it worked for me. I'm not as big a Capcom fan as I am the Marvel side of that. That's very much
Hmm.
I was always a Marvel guy. But that's such a brilliant idea and such a great idea for a an exclusive. That's perfect. That's the antithesis of what Hasbro did, making a central, really important character an exclusive. This was great to have, but you don't need it. It's the perfect. They threaded that needle
Well, you
absolutely
don't need it, but
perfectly.
you want it.
Yeah, some people need it, 100%. I would have loved to have it. I can do without it. It hurts a
Yeah,
little bit. Such a great idea though, and it kind of goes back to, I was talking about, I like my collection to be very animation specific now. I throw Marvel
right.
versus Capcom in with that too now. And what I try to do is get the most complete version of a character I can get, and that includes all the extra heads and everything. So that part bumps me out a little bit. If I ever come across a good deal for it, I'm going to be in, or if I can buy maybe a couple select ones, I'll be happy. But I was a little disappointed to not be able to get that. Such a great idea.
Yeah, and I know, you and I, we talk rather frequently offline, and I know that sometimes you've come to me asking about like
Yeah.
which scope goes better, because obviously there's
You're
lots
my
of
Capcom
competition.
guy, man.
Yeah. So, how are you feeling about the Strider? And also, I just want to say, since I've learned that you really do like to now focus your collection to cater more towards animation, I would
Mm-hmm.
say definitely keep an eye on Jada, because even though I get Storm and Jada, I will say that Jada is definitely doing more like cartoony Benga's art type stuff
Yep.
that appeared in, like, the concept art and the promo art for the Marvel versus Capcom games, like that Sakura. And
Yep.
heavens opened up that Adon, that some people say Adon, don't matter. Like, I've been waiting, like, there's been so many times I've gone to eBay and I was just like, damn, do I need to buy this like 20-year-old soda like Adon? But I was like, no, no, no. I was like, come on, somebody's got to do it.
Fight the
So,
urge. Yeah.
yes, I can't wait
Jade
to
is just
buy
making
that.
smart decisions right now. Like they're just
Yeah.
doing it all right. I mean, they started I don't know if they started, but I don't follow a million companies. So maybe somebody else did it first, but like the player two stuff, genius. And they're doing it right. I feel like they're including like accessories that you're going to want for the original version and stuff. Whereas Hasbro, they're not really doing it the same way. Like they announced some of the different colorways, calling them player two, and just kind of like, well, you could have included that stuff in the original one. Like it just feels different. I don't know. You're doing a 2-pack with both of the characters repeated. Um, just doesn't work for me. I don't
Yeah,
need
like
the
I'm
Bone
cool.
Claws or the Psylocke Crimson
The
Dawn face
scar, yeah,
that
I'm
much.
cool on
Yeah.
that. And then also too, I'm just like, okay, fine. Like, even remember when they did a crossover, a collab with Kith, right? I
Yes.
didn't get those figures, but at least
Yep.
even that Wolverine, right? That color scheme actually was kind of interesting. But I feel like just the green and the yellow. Like, at first, when I first saw the promo images, I was just like, is this just a green screen era? I'm just like, this
Yeah.
is the Wolverine costume y'all went with. Like, I'm just
It's
like, come
funny
on.
because the only time I ever would have seen those costumes for Wolverine is if I hit the wrong button. It was not really
Facts.
intentional that I'm going to be
Facts.
choosing one of those. Like I feel like in general, the Capcom, maybe it's just because like I'm so entrenched in the Marvel stuff. Like I want them to look more or less like they do in the comics, unless I'm looking
Mhm.
for like a team synergy, black costumes I'm trying to stick to or something. The
Yeah,
Capcom color swaps in general were way better than the Marvel ones, in my opinion.
most
So
definitely.
that helps Jada too.
Yeah, and then also I gotta say, like, I kind of dislike. No, actually, sorry. This is Cold Front Conversation. This is real talk. I heavily dislike the way Storm does their player twos, because I'm just like,
Mm,
okay, you're making them all these like exclusive, and I get it. Like, fine, you could be you're made in Asia, you can cater to that market, Hong Kong
hmm.
exclusive. But it's just like you're spreading it along all these different stores, and then there's all these just like random drops, like Big Bad Toy Store. I don't know what deal they
Yeah.
have, but it's like that's twice. Like, fortunately, like my cousin who lives in England, he told me, hey, did you see that this Sagat went up? And I was like, wait, what? Like, no promo, no whatever. And I'm just like, okay. And they make them in such limited numbers where it's just like you don't even
Mm.
want to open them. But I don't know. I kind of, yeah, like I said, I like the way Jada does their player twos, but I'm actually starting to drift away from them. I currently
Interesting.
have I currently have the Palmart Ryu, the White Ken, the blue. I have a couple, but I'm just like, you know
White
what?
Can's
If
pretty
this
cool. I
the
didn't
White
get
Ken,
that one, but that's pretty cool. Yeah.
that's moment. I think it's either moment 37 or moment 47 from Evo or whatever with with Justin Wong. Like that's they. It's such a iconic fighting game community moment that
Mm-hmm.
like the Street Fighter movie actually sent Justin Wong like an image of the actor and actress that play Ken and Chun Li doing that parry just to troll him or whatever, because
That's
so
great.
that's what they call that white Ken. But yeah, oh man. So do you have anything like else that you'd like to shout out?
Honestly, ACBA, like they got me started in all this. They like, and then it's not just Boog, it's the whole group that fit, that original Facebook group from, I mean, I joined it in like 2012 or 2011, somewhere around, I think it was 2012. And sat back for a while, watched, took notes. And then when I started taking my own shots, like they were garbage. They were absolutely terrible. And those guys weren't afraid to, they didn't call garbage. I look back at it and I say, well, that was garbage. They weren't afraid to give feedback to people, which that's lacking on like Instagram. You know what I mean? You don't get a lot of that sort of stuff. That was really important for like my development as an artist. This Mondo stuff never in a million years would have been possible without those guys really giving a crap. You know what I mean? And telling me, oh, you could do this better, or why didn't you try this, or work on that pose. That pose really isn't it. That sort of stuff has been so central to like, it pulled me more into collecting even. Like, I don't know that I would have collected as much as I did if I wasn't like, oh, I could do this scene from this comic or this show or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. If I get that figure, I probably would have passed on. I mean, it would save me a lot of money. I probably would have passed on 30% of my collection if that was not, in the back of my mind. So I mean, it changed my life. It really did, being in that group. And the only reason I ever got these opportunities is from the constructive criticism that those guys gave me, and they gave me platforms. I've been on the podcast and stuff, and that's been really great for me. Yeah, I owe those guys a lot, especially Kendall. Book
Yeah.
nice.
Shout out to Bug. Shout out
Yeah.
to ACBA. And for our soon to be loyal viewers at home, ACBA stands for Articulated Comic Book Art. It's basically
Should have said that.
taking the
Sorry.
comic. Oh, hey, listen,
That's why you're the
hey,
host.
hey, it's all right. It's all right. Also now, just like you, Brandon, I've been privileged to be on the podcast a couple of times, hoping to collaborate more in the future. But ACBA is Articulated Comic Book Art. You can find them on all platforms. It's basically using figures to emulate the awesome panels that we see in comic books. Articulated comic book art. So yeah, I love those guys, But
Mm-hmm.
you said a lot about them. I still remember. I don't have the figure anymore, but like I had a Mezco Flash, and I remember I posted, and I was really really proud. I was just like, oh, look at that! They want cutouts. I'm gonna get zooms, like blurred images behind, and I was like, I'm so excited to post this, and they were like,
Yeah.
yeah, actually, that's not a running post. I'm just like, what do you mean? And I
Oh, the
argued, but
classic, right? The arm and
yeah,
the
no,
leg forward on the
I had
same
a, I
side.
had
Yeah.
I opposite. I was just like, this looks so cool,
Yeah.
but nah, there have been a major inspiration. I've
Mm-hmm.
always loved this stuff, but just like you, like I don't think my collection would be anywhere as big, and I don't think the hobby would be anywhere as fulfilling without like not just toy photography, but really good, clean, cropped, and contained toy photography. So shout out
Yep.
to our friends at Articulated Comic Book Art.
Even just the coverage and the interviews they do, like they were holding Dwight and his crew to, double jointed elbows on the female figures for as long as I can remember. Like that stuff
Them and
matters. Like,
Shartimus.
yeah, yep, Shartimus too. Yep, can't miss out on him. But yeah, like those, female figures especially have come a long way since then. Like, I don't know. That's they were terrible for so long. Like yeah, I've been anytime one comes along with the double elbows and all the other good articulation. Now it's an easy purchase just based on like how bad some of those older figures were. They all had the same face for the most. Like there was just so many things like that, and they actually reused. I think it was on Elsa Bloodstone, the new Elsa Bloodstone. I'm like, I
Mhm.
couldn't tell you. I'm not an encyclopedic, like, oh, that sculpt is from this figure and this figure. That has been used on so many female figures over the years from Hasbro. It's disappointing to see that face again. It looks okay on her. I'm not going to say it doesn't, but reverting to old habits there, Hasbro. But so
True.
they've taken such a leap forward over the years, and I think it's because of people like the ACBA guys keeping them taking them to task about things.
Most definitely. You know, if you go into the bathroom with the lights off and what's called and yell rogue into the mirror a couple times, you'll see that tortoise rogue
Yeah.
hold you down
Oh
like a
my
sleep
god.
paralysis demon. Woo,
Even some of
man,
the old Emma Frost figures too. Like her
bro.
thing is that she's attractive, and you made the
Right.
least attractive sculpts you could possibly come up with. Incredible.
Speaking of Emma Frost, I saw that this bad boy is now like heavily discounted on Target. And like I saw someone like use some kind of like crystal looking nail polish. So I was thinking
I
about
saw
getting
that
another
too.
one and like applying that because
That's a great
I don't know.
idea.
Yeah. Oh
It
man.
sounds messy, but it's a great idea, especially if they're
Hey,
cheap now.
hey, you said you're willing to make a mess for a photo shoot, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to just like, working with you and just seeing more of your work. I'm actually gearing up to start shooting again because as
Nice.
yeah, so like it's been about, let's see, when was my daughter's turning 3. So it's been about almost 2.5 years since I've been able to like, just like take the time to post pictures because of ACBA, I don't want to just put up just anything. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to getting to that more. I'm looking forward to having more conversations with great guys like you, great guys and gals. That we got some fun stuff lined up for all everybody. Brandon, honestly,
I'm thrilled
this
to be
this
here, man.
I couldn't ask for a better pilot episode. I appreciate you so much, man.
I
So one more
appreciate it
time,
too.
I'm gonna edit it, but can you just give them your ads? You already got a following, but you definitely are worthy of even more.
Well, I
So
appreciate
where can
that
the
very
people
much.
find you?
So, Posable Productions, all one word on Instagram. Batman the Articulated Series on Instagram, and X-Men underscore the Articulated Series on Instagram. It bothers me. Somebody has got no account, like no post, no anything, has X-Men the Articulated Series, and it kills me. Every couple months, I PM them and just hope that somebody's going to check it and say, "Oh yeah, I'll trade this. I'll pay you. I don't give like I need that handle. I need it." But anyway, for now, it's X-Men the Articulated Series. All that stuff from those two accounts goes up on Posable Productions anyway. That's kind of the catch-all. Everything's on there. And yeah, there's stuff dating about 10 years back, I would say now. Yeah, that's me, the main place to follow me though.
That's
I
what's
pop
up.
up on YouTube shows every once in a while too. I'll promote that stuff when I do it, but I'm hoping to be on Between Two Sentinels sometime soon about X-Men '97. I did
Okay.
an episode with them last year for the finale, and it was like the most fun I've ever had on a podcast. So,
Yo, shout out to Between Two Sentinels. Shout out to the whole Toy Migos crew. Toy Migos,
100%.
I'm coming for y'all,
Yeah.
mi gente. I'm coming for y'all. But all right, thanks again,
Thanks for
everybody.
having me, man. I appreciate it. It's an honor.
Oh, oh my God. Oh man. Hey man, I'm too cool to cry. All right, everyone. Have a lovely night. Eventually, I'm gonna probably think of some kind of outro saying, but for now, stay cool. Peace.